On May 17, 1954. In 1954, the Supreme Court declared school segregation unconstitutional. But how did this decision reshape a divided nation? Before 1954, American schools were divided by law. Black children sat in rooms with peeling paint. White students had brand new desks. The idea that education could be unequal was accepted as normal. Segregation wasn't just in schools. It was in restrooms, waiting rooms, and even hospitals. Laws enforced this separation as if it were natural, but some people began to question if this was right. Thurgood Marshall, a black lawyer, argued that separate schools were unequal. He believed the Constitution guaranteed equal rights for all. His work led to a case that would shake the nation. Across the country, protests grew louder. People demanded an end to discrimination. But change would not come easily. Textbooks taught that segregation was lawful. They never mentioned the pain of those forced to live apart. Yet some voices began to challenge this version of history. The Supreme Court had to decide, was segregation constitutional? The answer would shape the future of America. On May 17, 1954, the Supreme Court ruled unanimously. Segregation in public schools was unconstitutional. The decision was called Brown v. Board of Education. 9 justices agreed. Separate schools could never be equal. The ruling overturned a previous decision from 1896. This was a turning point in American law. The case combined lawsuits from 5 states. It showed how segregation harmed black children. The evidence was clear. Separate was not equal. Some white parents opposed the ruling. They formed groups to block integration, but others saw this as justice long overdue. In some schools, black students walked into classrooms for the first time. They faced hostility, but also hope. The ruling had begun to change reality. News of the ruling spread quickly. Some celebrated, others protested. The world watched as America faced its conscience. Years after the ruling, schools remained segregated in many places. Laws had to be enforced, and resistance was strong. But the fight for equality did not stop. The ruling inspired new protests. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. called for action. The demand for equal education became part of a larger movement. Today, classrooms are more diverse, but challenges remain. The legacy of Brown v. Board of Education is still felt in schools across America. New laws followed the ruling. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 helped end segregation, but progress was slow and hard-won. Younger generations grew up in a more integrated world. They saw the impact of Brown v. Board of Education, yet inequality still shaped their lives. The Supreme Court building still stands. The ruling from 1954 remains a landmark in American history. Its lessons continue to shape the fight for equality. Explore how one ruling changed the course of history. Subscribe for more stories that matter.